East High, home of the Black Raiders, where every day is a great day to be a Raider. Hi, I'm Dan Poppin.
And I'm Caitlin Marsh. We invite you to tune in each week to our East High broadcast, where we will keep you connected to East High School.
Most school systems will regularly hold parent-teacher conferences. These conferences usually take place once or twice a year. However, teachers are generally more than happy to schedule a conference at any time during the school year at parents' request. Likewise, the teacher may ask a parent to come for a conference if there's a special concern or news about a child.
Parent and teacher conferences should be viewed positively. These conferences enable the parent to gain vital information about their child and how he or she is doing in school, both academically and socially. Conferences are also a time when a teacher can learn more about the child that is in his or her class. This is a time when parents and teachers discuss goals for the child. Parents and teachers can learn if they are both on the same page in regards to the child's academic expectations, as well as emotional and social expectations. This is a time for the lines of communication to be opened up between the parent and the teacher. Becoming familiar with the teacher will help to make the parent more comfortable in approaching the teacher if there is a problem or issue arises at a later date. There are many questions that parents can ask to make the best use of conference time.
Is my child working up to his or her potential? Is my child being academically challenged? What are the strengths and weaknesses you have seen in my child? Does my child participate in class or in group discussions? How does my child interact with peers? Does he or she have any friends? Does my child struggle in any particular subject? Does my child turn in his or her homework on time? Is my child respectful of you and others in authority?
Parent-teacher conferences inspire fear in some students, who visualize their parents and teachers conspiring against them in private.
East High teachers believe students should not fear the annual conferences. In fact, when kids see their parents and teachers working together, that increases their interest and enthusiasm in school, and any opportunity to build bridges is coveted.
Conferences are an opportunity for parents, teachers, and students to form a partnership. The unstated but understood goal of the partnership is to help students improve in school.
Students in one East High practical writing class are learning about reader's theater. It is an activity in which students, while reading directly from scripts, are able to tell a story in a most entertaining form, without props, costumes, or sets. This is a reading activity, and students are not asked to memorize their lines. They are, however, encouraged to read with a bit of acting skill and use intonation and gestures appropriate to their characters and their characters' word.
Reader's theater serves many useful functions. It provides repeated reading practice, an important factor in building fluency. Repeated reading practice also improves students' confidence and enthusiasm for reading. It is an enjoyable change of pace from everyday practice sessions. Students in this class may choose to take the activity a step further and prepare a script for an audience. That is a choice that the class will make, but it must be made with total commitment to the project and the understanding that must be very lively of an audience to benefit from it.
The script used in this class was written after their teacher, Shelley Mulland. Read Silent Epidemic, The Dropout Crisis. She decided to change the information from the survey form to the dramatic form. Many students could identify with the students in the script.
Teachers too often think that their lesson plan is working without asking the students. We will hear from 3 practical writing students who reviewed their activity with their co-teacher, Mr. Hagan. The students are Adam Novick, Melissa Holland, and Lalo Palomino.
Writing class, we read a play that Mrs. Mullen had written after she had read The Silent Epidemic. And we asked you to do it in a reader's theater format, which is different from simply reading the play. How was it different from the normal assignments, the regular assignments that you guys have done in class? Okay, Melissa?
It gets everybody involved and doesn't have anybody just sitting there.
So the people, rather than just looking at the script, were actually reading the script and to it? Okay. Adam, how did it differ for you?
This is different from regular assignments, so that makes it more interesting, and kids want to probably get more involved in it.
The kids were more involved and you found it to be more interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lalo?
Well, it was more interesting, and you actually had to be attentive to where people were in their place, because you had a role coming up and you couldn't just be wandering off and like you probably would on a regular reading assignment. And so that was...
Kids do tend to wander off on a regular reading assignment, and this kept them going right on it, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When you're acting, and you are acting in a reading theater, some kids really come to the fore and they become quite a bit of a ham. You have to act. How hard was that for you, Adam?
It's not really that hard. Like, you just have to make sure everybody can hear you. Like, say if there's like an exclamation point at the end of a sentence, just be louder. And like, you just have to read it before like your part comes up, so you know what to say.
Wasn't too hard for you then? Okay. Lalo, how was it for you?
Well, for me it was more complicated because, as I said, you have to be more attentive, and so waiting for the right time to come in and like not actually just blurting out the stuff. You have to say it with meaning, and that complicates it all.
You are acting, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Melissa, how about you?
Well, you haven't really had a chance to read it before, so it's harder and you really have to listen to everybody else.
And I think that we had said that in class that we might redo this again to kind of perfect it as a performance. Okay. Our reading theater had a very specific message. Lalo, what did we decide was the message that our class got from it?
Well, the message was that teachers and schools needed to take steps to keep students more involved and more active in the learning.
What do you think about that message?
Well, I think that in order for the teachers to take steps to make their classes more interesting, then the school funding has to be better, because the funding that we get right now isn't enough for all that kind of activities.
So you think the activities are going to cost more?
Yeah.
They would be worth it?
Yes, they would. I think it would make the classes more interesting, and therefore students wouldn't drop out.
Ah. Adam?
Yeah, I agree with Lalo, because teachers need to be way more into their jobs instead of just getting through the day to get paid. You need to actually help the student if he's having trouble, or like just having trouble like on a reading assignment. You know, you gotta help him read instead of just telling him, oh, it's a verb or something.
Just tell them to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Melissa?
They need to make it more interesting where kids want to come to school instead of they just have to come to school. And then they probably wouldn't have so many kids that drop out or anything.
Education. What does it mean to you? Melissa?
Well, in my family it's kind of expected to finish high school.
How about going on?
Sometimes, well, if you want to.
So it's just an expectation in your family? Adam?
Yeah, it's kind of an expectation in my family, but my dad didn't graduate, but my mom did, so it's like, I want to make her proud by graduating, and then it means people respect you more. You get people who graduate and get a way better job.
So education would bring you respect, better jobs, better pay?
Well, in their families, they said it's kind of an expectation. In my family, out of my mom, my dad, and 3 siblings, nobody has ever graduated. So for me, it wouldn't be an expectation. It's more of a self-satisfaction. I do it for myself and to prove to them that it can be done, because they say it's too hard and whatever, that they can't go on with it. But for me, it's a self-satisfaction and also for respect.
And your high school diploma is within your goal, within your grasp.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, and I think you'll make it. Thank you for your comments. That's all.
No one wants to be called to the office if it means getting in trouble. But there are many reasons students and adults may visit East's office each day.
Your body can't function without a heart, and the heart of a high school is the central office. The healthier the heart, the more productive the body, and the stronger the office staff, the stronger the school. East High is fortunate to have fantastic office staff. Whether you need a transcript for college, information about a sporting event, or tickets to the upcoming musical, the office is the place to go.
Lori Winterland is instrumental in keeping the attendance portion of the office running. Sydney Brady also recently spent a few moments with her.
This is Lori Winterland. She's the secretary attendance person at East High. And I'm going to ask her a couple questions. It seems like there's always something different going on in the office. How does the front door entrance differ from the attendance door entrance?
What we have tried to do here at East High is to kind of break up where you have a lot of students coming in all at once for different situations. So therefore, that's why we have an attendance door. You come on this side of the office for discipline problems, attendance problems, speaking to the principals, so on and so forth. On the other side of the office, that's closest to our commons area, that is where you will come in to either get money exchanged, come in and ask for the activities director, come and see our registrar, Mrs. McGregor, for anything, and busing, tickets, many different items happen here at school. So therefore, that's why we kind of split up the office a little bit, so there isn't such congestion when you try to come in all at once.
Good to know. You see a good cross-section of East High students on a daily basis. What do you think about East High students here?
I've been here about 8 or 9 years, and I've really seen a difference from where I first came to what I see now. I see more multicultural students that are here, which is good. It's good to be around that environment and to learn other cultures and know that there are other situations out there with families and stuff that are different than possibly what you grew up with. So I've seen that. I've seen where I think students need to probably be more respectful to adults. I wish I would see a growth in that, but unfortunately I haven't seen that. I've seen a more relaxed atmosphere around adults and situations and courtesy. Otherwise, that's about it right now.
Record keeping for 1,300 students must be a nightmare. How do you manage to keep track of so many students?
It's really hard, but once again, it's not just me. It's the two other women we have here in attendance. We have Mrs. Beckman, who handles the counter work, helps me with the phone calls, and also does discipline. And then we have a new person that's full-time this year. That's Mrs. Johnson, and she basically helps with all the truancies. So it's not just me, but we all work together as a team, and we all do what we can to try to keep East High running and hopefully keep the students in class as much as we can.
Okay. And if you could suggest one thing to parents as a way to keep things running smoothly in your office, what would it be?
Actually, it would have to be more than one. The first one that I would want is that every parent please call in for your child when they're not here at school. It really helps a lot to have you call me than for me to always have to try to get a hold of a parent. Most of the time the parents know the students are not here, so therefore I wish they would really make an effort to call the school and let us know. Second would be that the students just come to class, and go to their classes. This is their school, this is what they need to do. It needs, they just need to be more accountable that they need to go to classes. They don't get out just for trivial things. And, it would help if parents, tried to make as many doctor and dentist appointments after school or before school as much as they can. And I wish our society would help us with that too, so that there would be more nighttime appointments that parents would be able to go to, have a chance to take their children to, instead of always taking them out of school. Also, I think the other one was students just come to school on time. We have so many that are, that come in tardy. And they just need to be accountable that they need to be here, this is where they need to be, and then they can do whatever they need to do with it.
Mr. B. Okay. Well, thank you, Mrs. Winterwood, for talking with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
That wraps up this edition of East High Highlights. Remember the shields at East: tolerance, respect, responsibility, school spirit, and integrity.
By all of us working together, we can make a good school a great school.
See you next week.